All right, here we go. Yes. So, three things that hurt your teen. All right. So, number one, let that focus in just a little bit. Maybe, okay, maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Oh, there we go. There we go. Doing everything for them. That is number one. Oh my golly. I know, you know what? Sometimes you might be thinking, well, it's okay if I do everything for them because here's kind of what we think, right? Because then it gets done. Well, when you do everything for your teen, things might get done, but you're not teaching them anything, okay? I take that back. You are teaching them something. You're teaching them that, wow, you know what? This is great because my mom, my dad will do it for me. So if I just not do it long enough, eventually they are going to get sick of it not being done and they're going to do it for me. So in the midst of that, hey, you're doing your teen an injustice. So my girl, when she went to college, one of my girls, so this is the result of having everything done for you. There was a guy that was in college too, and because he was never taught how to make toast, what? I know, for real. Toast, bacon, any of those things. So what he did was put bacon in the toaster. And so it was like 11:30 at night. My daughter had just gotten out of the shower, so she has to hurry and go outside when it was kind of winter time in her towel because they had to evacuate the building ASAP because that guy had burnt bacon in the toast. It caught fire, so then the fire department had to come. So that was the first time that the guy did this. So then the second time, the same guy was making popcorn in the microwave. Maybe back then they didn't have a button that says popcorn on it. The guy put popcorn into the microwave for like 20 minutes. Of course, that caught fire, the same thing. The fire department had to come and shut down the building again. And then everybody had to leave the building. The same guy. So, all right, parents, so when you're doing everything for your teen, you are not doing them any favors, all right? It's okay for them to learn how to do things. It's okay for them to do it, all right? Even if it's not as great as what you would have it done, that is okay because, hey, that's how they learn, right? Do you remember doing dishes? I do. Not because my parents were making me. I remember being 5 years old, pulling the chair up to the sink and washing dishes. Of course, then I loved it compared to now. I still do dishes, but not because I'm forced to, in the sense, I'm forced to now because I can't stand dirty dishes. All right. And I'm sure eventually your teen will be the same, but not if you do everything for them. Okay. They're not going to give a rip. So it is definitely our responsibility to be teaching our teens that. All right. So don't do everything for them. All right. So number 2 is this: taking responsibility. Let me put it here so you can see. All right. Here we go. Taking responsibility for their actions, all right? This is part of the 3 things that hurt your teen, is when you take responsibility for their actions. So, don't be bailing your teen out all the time. For real, seriously. If something happens, this is what I love when recently, my girls were talking and they said, oh yeah, mom would have been the last person I would have called. If I was to have ever gotten in jail, mom would have definitely been the last person. I would have never even thought to call my mom because my mom would have left me there and she would have said, hey, you need to take responsibility for what you have done. So true. I remember when one of my girls, she was 5 years old, and we were at my mother's, and she is over there. They were chalk playing outside, and she is at the neighbor's. The sidewalk is just extending to the neighbor's house, and she is there, and she wrote the F word on the sidewalk. So then her little sister comes in to tell, oh my gosh, this is what she did. So I made it a big deal in the sense because we went to the neighbors and I had her knock on the door and tell the neighbor that she wrote a bad word on their sidewalk. yeah, it's kind of funny. You're like, oh my gosh, how'd she even know how to spell that word? And how does she know those things? But hey, they pick that up, don't they? Even at 2. So she had to go clean it off. I had her scrub it off. But I got to tell you, she remembers that and she never did it again. Okay? So teaching your teen responsibility. That's where, like the first one goes, don't do everything for them because you need to teach them responsibility. But then this number 2 is that don't take responsibility for their actions. So they get in trouble. You don't have to bail them out. Yeah, let them sit in jail. Hey, for 24 hours. Let them suffer the consequences of their choices, their actions, to the fact, like you're not just going to bail them out, that they can call mom and dad and be like, hey, hey, it's all going to be good because my dad is going to take care of this. My mom, she's going to bail me out and make excuses for me, and so that I can get what I want. So it can be all good for me and I didn't have to take any responsibility for what I did in the situation. So that is definitely something that hurts your teen, okay, is when you take responsibility for their actions. You don't have to do that, all right? And you shouldn't do that. So number 3 is, let me squeeze it up here. 3, giving them too much of what you didn't have. That is number 3. And we all want good things for our teens. We all want them to have more than what we had. We want our children to always have the better life than what we had. So then in turn, sometimes we give them way too much because we want them to have so much more than what we had. Hey, and I'm not saying that's bad, okay? For you to want your teen to have a better life than you did. I'm not saying that is bad, but here's what I am saying. If you want your teen to grow up and be responsible and be a productive citizen of society, then yeah, you do need to teach them some things. If not, if you just constantly give and give and give and give and give to them to where they don't have a job, they don't have to pay for gas, they don't have to pay for insurance, they don't have to pay for absolutely anything, unless you would like your teenager to live in your basement, in your master bedroom, maybe at this time for the rest of your life, then hey, keep giving them everything they want. Or maybe it'll come to the point to where you can't stand them living in your house, so then you go pay for an apartment for them. Yeah, I'd like to say, hey, wouldn't we all like that if mom and dad paid for everything for us? You think that, like, man, my parents didn't give me that. They didn't give this, do this for me, do that for me. But when you think about it, now that you are a grown adult, and you're thinking, wow, it's because I didn't have everything I wanted, and that's why now I can function and be productive in my life, because I had to work for some things. And I gotta tell you, that's okay, isn't it? Yeah, it's okay. And that's the same thing for your teen. It's okay, all right, that you don't just give them everything they want. Because a lot of times, what is the attitude of your teen? Which that was in a previous video, okay? So check that video out. Also, the attitude of your teen, sometimes it's because you give them everything they want. And then sometimes it's never enough, is it? Right? Right. You give them, and then you give and give and give, and then they keep wanting more and more and more. So just think about that. What are you giving your teen? How much are you giving them? Are you doing it out of guilt because what you didn't have, so then you feel guilty because your teen might have to so-called suffer, right, a little bit, and you don't want to see them suffer, so then you give them everything, which in turn is nothing. You're not giving them things that really benefit and help them. So that's something to think about, okay? So what are those 3 things again? All right. 1 is doing everything for your teen, okay? That does not help your teen. And number 2 is, now I gotta think, where's my little number 2? Okay, taking responsibility for their actions, all right? That is not helping your teen. That is hurting your teen. And then number 3 is that you give them too much of what you didn't have. So those 3 things are things that when we do that to our teen, we pour in that part of the life of our teen, we are hurting our teen. We are definitely not helping our teen. So we want our teens to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, right? Yeah. And in order for that to happen, we have to instill different abilities, actually, I would say we have to focus on what their strengths are. Don't focus on their weaknesses because, hey, too many of us do that already, all right? Focus on what their strength is. And even if you can't really see it right now, but maybe there's just one little tiny itty bitty thing that's creeping through, the little corner of their life, that's what you start to focus on. That's what you start to nourish and to start building that into them, that they start seeing it so that they can start growing into being the person that they are created and designed to be. Not just that mommy and daddy can give them everything, bail me out of whatever I need, give me money when I need it, and when I don't need it, they're going to just take care of me, pay for everything, because that is definitely going to come to bite you hard, all right? Because there might come a time that you don't even have the money. Hey, what am I talking about? You probably don't have the money now, and you're giving them things that you don't have because you are maybe out with 2 or 3 jobs so that your teen can have whatever they want. Running yourself ragged and working yourself fingers to the bone, right? So that your teen can have whatever they want to have. It's okay for your teen to have a job. It's okay if they work at McDonald's, all right? Because McDonald's, those types of jobs are not meant to be forever. Unless, hey, they make it to management and maybe they want to buy a store. Hey, woohoo for that, right? That'd be great. Then you can have all the delicious French fries you want. But instill in your teen a good work ethic. Instill in your teen that, you know what, we don't quit. Instill in your teen that you will be, hey, living on your own someday. Wow! And you will be providing for yourself someday. Because all of those things are good things. And it's good for your teen to want to have those good things in their life. And it's okay that you don't just provide everything. Now, I'm not saying don't provide anything for them. I remember I was watching Dr. Phil one time, and oh my God, I couldn't even believe it. So this lady is talking about her son, who was 5, okay, and she was having her 5-year-old to do his laundry. Okay, oh my golly, here's what I thought. 5, oh my gosh, yes, do your 5-year-old's laundry. I don't think there's anything wrong with showing them how the laundry works, pulling out some stuff, and hey, you can help fold some clothes. Hey, they're 5, okay? Oh my golly. So she said she has him do his own laundry. He's kindergarten. And then she said she has taken him to ride the subway by himself at 5 because he needed to know how to do that. He is 5 years old. He has only been alive in the world for 5 years. And he needed to go ride the subway alone by himself from school to home. I'm sorry, that myself just of course I was looking at the TV. What? Are you kidding me? I would never want my 5-year-old to be riding a subway by themselves in New York City home from school. That just still blows my mind to this day because no, I don't think you should be doing that type of stuff, okay? I don't think that's necessarily the responsibility at 5 is what I'm talking about for your teens. Yes, teach them responsibility. Yes, teach them how to be productive. Yes, teach them those things, okay? So that is what I'm talking about. Teaching them how to live life productively. Not teaching them that mom and dad are going to do life for them at any time, at any cost that they want, all right? Because you are not at the beck and call of your teenager, much to contrary belief, all right? So I think that's all I want to say about this right now, okay? Is teaching your teen how to be productive, all right? And the 3 things that hurt your teen the most. 1, once again, okay, I will say that again, is doing everything for them. That hurts your teen. Number 2 is, let me see my paper. Taking responsibility for their actions. Number 2, please don't do that. And number 3 is, what was my number 3? Okay, Did you say it for me? Okay, here's my paper as I threw it on the ground. Okay, hold on. Giving them too much of what you didn't have. All right, that's my number 3. All right, so with those things, think about that stuff. All right, put in the comments maybe things that you thought about that you maybe have done for your teen that you thought was helpful but ended up hurting them. Maybe tell me about one of those 3 things that stand out the most for you. What have you done for your teen that was like, wow, I really did number 1 quite a bit, and I'm doing it. And now tell me some things that you're going to do to help change that. All right, so that number 1 doesn't become so overwhelming in their life, in your life, because hey, it becomes overwhelming in your own life too, not just the life of your teen. So let me know. All right, let me know what you thought about this video, and yeah, feel free to hit subscribe. Feel free to hit like. All right, and I will see you in the next video.